Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hawks Latest, your number one source for news, updates, rumors, opinions, and you guessed it, the latest and the greatest regarding the Atlanta Hawks. I'm your host, Zach Langley, aka Langley ATL, and today we've got a full slate of updates to cover. This is the 85th episode of Hawks Latest presented by FanArt, so I hope you guys have been enjoying all the content. We're definitely going to hit over 100 episodes by the start of the season, so that'll be awesome, man. I've certainly enjoyed doing this so far. I can't wait to continue the growth on this channel. So training camp is approaching quickly. And while the NBA offseason has largely settled in terms of news, Atlanta's front office has not stopped working because, I mean, with training camp coming around, you got guys that really want to prove that they can have a spot on an NBA roster. I mean, the Hawks made a pair of new signings just yesterday, setting the stage for some very intriguing training camp battles. I mean, Atlanta, technically those last two roster spots are not guaranteed. Now, obviously, we know it's Neftali Dante and then the Exhibit 10 deal of Caleb Houston, but that could change at any moment considering they aren't guaranteed. On top of that, we have plenty to talk about from Eurobasket action, where Kristaps Porzingis, Atlanta's newly acquired big man, clashed with Vit Krejci, and we're also going to take a dive into a way too early 2026 NBA mock draft that has Atlanta picking twice in the first round. And really, it's a very good outcome. I mean, Atlanta has their pick, and then also the pick of the Pelicans and the Bucks, whoever's worse out of those two. One of the most valuable assets in the entire NBA. So in this mock draft, it lands them a quality player that would fit right into the rotation. And then finally, we're going to preview France's last group stage game, where Zachary Rizachet and company look to close things out strong. At the time of this recording, it's going on right now. So hopefully, next episode we'll have a full breakdown of that. It's been such a weird Eurobasket schedule, but we've been making do, and we have been covering it as well as we can. So without further ado, let's get right into it and talk about how Atlanta announced the signings of forward Javen Johnson and Javen Johnson, not Jalen Johnson, Javen Johnson, and guard Dwight Murray Jr. Those might sound familiar to you. They actually spent some time with Atlanta's summer league team. So they signed them both to training camp deals. So very, very non-guaranteed, very much just like they're here for the next few weeks. Now they represent valuable opportunities for players, that aren't, getting much consideration for NBA rosters to earn a shot at sticking around in some capacity. Whether that is on the Hawks main roster, which is the most unlikely scenario, a two-way spot, which also are all three of Atlanta's two ways are filled. But also, this is not necessarily just for the Atlanta Hawks. If they really show out, I mean, these could be guys that land a spot elsewhere. I mean, that's certainly a possibility. Another thing is that they continue development with the College Park Skyhawks. They have a great developmental pipeline in College Park. And I wouldn't be surprised if, these guys ended up signing full-term deals with the College Park Skyhawks after an impressive training camp with the Hawks. Because clearly they're on the organization's radar, at least. I mean, that they're getting signed right before training camp like this. And Atlanta still has a few more signings to make before training camp actually begins. And then it'll be a scenario of, we're seeing all these signings being reported, and then very soon after training camp, they'll all be released. We'll start with Johnson, though, and kind of break down their game. So he's a 6'6" forward. It brings him with 2 seasons of NBA G League experience with the Santa Cruz Warriors. Over that span, he averaged nearly 12 points per game to go along with 3.2 rebounds and 1.3 assists across 97 appearances. Pretty solid numbers, pretty consistent numbers. This summer, he played for the Hawks in the Las Vegas Summer League, as we just talked about. He posted 7.3 points per game and 3.7 rebounds in just over 18 minutes per contest. So everywhere he's been at, he's just consistently contributed. Not numbers that are going to amaze you, but just a very solid player. Johnson also has international experience competing in Venezuela's SLB. Prior to that, he had a lengthy college career across Troy, Iowa State, and DePaul, where he carved out a role as a versatile scorer and defender. Real role player, real glue guy, something that the Hawks could benefit from. And I'm interested to see how he's going to perform in training camp. As for Dwight Murray Jr., he had a little bit more of a standout with the Hawks Summer League team, at least from the eye test. So he spent last season with the College Park Skyhawks, and he's likely going to be on the Skyhawks next season, obviously Atlanta's G League affiliate. In 43 games, he averaged 9 points, 5 assists, and just under 4 rebounds per game. So as a guard, really contributing. Like Johnson, he was part of the Hawks Summer League roster, contributing in limited minutes. Before that, Murray Jr. had an international stint, and he played 3 different competitions in 2023, 24. He's actually an Austell, Georgia native, so hometown kid, and his college career took him through Incarnate Word and Writer University. I haven't heard of that. Where he earned all MAC first team honors in 2023. Now, what do these signings mean for the Hawks? At the moment, the roster is not, fully finalized. That is okay. Atlanta has flexibility. Anzi Saleh has really preached flexibility, and that's really all he's been alluding to. With players like Caleb Johnson and N'Faly Dante also competing for spots. I mean, N'Faly Dante is definitely the most guaranteed of all these deals we talked about. Because it is still a multi-year deal. But the Caleb Houston deal is an Exhibit 10 deal, and they have several guys now on Exhibit 10 deals. So Houston, Kobe Johnson, and these two new additions are all on the Exhibit 10 deals, which makes training camp battles much more competitive. I think Houston certainly has the edge. He's certainly the front runner to take that last roster spot, one of the last two roster spots. But nonetheless, all these guys are going to have their shot. General Manager Anzi Saleh has shown he values optionality, and these signings reflect that philosophy. So whether Johnson or Murray Jr. can stick remains to be seen, but these are all low risk, potentially high reward signings that could strengthen the Hawks' depth. I mean, anything that you can do to get better depth in today's NBA is a win. That is the most important thing to a basketball organization. So I like the signings. I'm interested to see how they perform in training camp. Hopefully these are guys that can impress and give guys like Kobe Johnson and N'Faly Dante a real edge and a real boost to compete. So moving on to Eurobasket action, something that we have been talking about for a few weeks now. Just around a week ago, a little more than that. Actually, last Wednesday. So it is a little over a week. They started the group stage games, and there have been some certain teams that have been really impressing, and some other teams that have certainly not been doing too well. Latvia and France are teams that have been doing very well, and those feature Atlanta's Kristaps Porzingis and then Atlanta's Zachary Rizashe. So Latvia actually took on the Czech Republic, who has Vít Krejci. They have not been doing too well, and they didn't do too well in this game either, but Vít played all right. So Latvia, led by Kristaps Porzingis, Atlanta's own, dominated Vít Krejci and the Czech Republic. The result was a 34-point blowout yesterday, and the unfortunate official elimination of the Czech Republic, who finished the group stage winless at 0-5. Very dreadful, very unfortunate. I mean, they didn't really stand much of a chance. This was a team that came in with the two players that were NBA talents on that roster were Vít Krejci and Thomas Satoransky. Satoransky got hurt right before Eurobasket, so Vít Krejci had to really step into that role as the main facilitator, and he struggled for most of Eurobasket, but this last game wasn't too bad. I mean, they still lost by 34, but Vít Krejci looked a little more like Vít. So Porzingis was in fine form. That shot is really back. He struggled with his three-point shot a lot early in the Eurobasket group stage action, but in this game he scored 16 points in just 18 minutes. Really effective as a scorer. Certainly had the height advantage in the paint, while also grabbing 7 boards and dishing 3 assists, blocking 2 shots. So really just a great all-around game for the Latvian big man. He was backed by the Bertans brothers, Davis and Darius, who combined for 40 points and torched the Czech Republic from beyond the arc. That's been Latvia's key strength. I mean, they have all these guys with elite shooting experience in the NBA, and it's obviously translating over in Eurobasket play. The Czech Republic struggled throughout the tournament offensively and defensively, relying heavily on younger, inexperienced players. And like I said, Vít had a okay game. He's really been struggling throughout Eurobasket, but this may have been his best game through all of Eurobasket. He had a decent showing with 11 points on 4 of 11 shooting. He was 3 of 8 from beyond the arc. So that was certainly a plus for Vít. So it's good to see growth. It certainly wasn't enough to spark his team, as they were just outmatched in every other category. But nonetheless, it's good to see Vít start knocking down his shots, because he's really been struggling, and we love Vít. So after the game, Porzingis really emphasized Latvia's steady improvement over the course of the tournament, especially the improvement from himself. He missed his first 14 threes that he attempted in the Eurobasket group stage, but then in the last 2 games of it, which were both wins, Porzingis seriously improved. He started really knocking down those triples. Latvia has really been trending upward as they move forward in the tournament. Latvia will next face Lithuania in the round of 16. So now that they have that spot clinched, they will be taking on Lithuania in the round of 16 in that first round in a single elimination. So that matchup should be one of the most anticipated early clashes, featuring 2 rival nations and NBA caliber big men in Porzingis and Jonas Valanciunas. It's going to be fun to watch, and we're certainly going to cover that all here on Hawks Latest. So now let's look ahead to the future, and it is never too early to talk about the draft. ever. It was super fun covering the draft this past offseason, well, really this offseason. And the Hawks have another interesting situation brewing for 2026. As I'm sure you all know, Atlanta's going to have 2 first-round picks. They have the unprotected 2026 first rounder from New Orleans, which is, a swap between, well, it's not a swap. Whoever is worse out of Milwaukee and New Orleans, Atlanta will get their first round pick, which is just insane leverage as both teams are projected to be pretty bad this upcoming season. Plus their own first round pick. In a recent mock draft by Bleacher Report's Jonathan Wasserman, Atlanta is projected to pick 6th and 18th overall. That's just in his mock draft. That is where the lottery gods landed New Orleans and Atlanta. So at number 6, this guy has the Atlanta Hawks selecting Koa Pete, a 6'8" forward from Arizona who has been a standout for Team USA in international play. He's known for his strong mid-range game and high-level scoring instincts. Pete could provide some versatility and size to Atlanta's lineup. You can never have enough of those lengthy forwards who just know how to put the ball in the basket and are solid defenders. At number 18, this guy has the Hawks projected to grab Carter Knox from Arkansas. So Knox is a powerful forward with athleticism and a growing sports repertoire. He projects as a player who can make an impact both in transition and as an off-ball scorer. That is a very valuable skill set in an offense where we're seeing all of these. We're seeing some guys like in the main rotation for Atlanta specialize in off-ball movement and off-ball shooting, and then this is another guy that certainly would fit into that real identity that Atlanta's trying to build. In transition and off-ball scorer, that sounds a little bit like Zachary Ricochet. Of course, draft boards are going to shift dramatically over the next year, but it is worth noting that Atlanta could very well end up in prime position to land a star thanks to that Pelicans pick. I mean, that really could end up being the number 1 pick. Atlanta could be blessed with one of AJ DeBanza, Cameron Boozer, or Darren Peterson, all of which are number 1 pick worthy. This is a 2026 draft class that is going to be even more stacked than the 2025 draft class, where we saw Cooper Flagg go number 1. There's like 3 Cooper Flaggs in this one. If I had to guess, or if I had to really say who my favorite prospect was in this 2026 NBA draft, just looking at it right now, I'd say it's probably still AJ DeBanza, basing it off of especially the Hawks' needs. Darren Peterson is also an interesting one. If some of this, if Trae Young in this contract situation and the team record situation ends up going the way we don't want it to, Darren Peterson would be a good guy who could take over as lead guard and lead the next wave for Atlanta. But I think looking at the team's culture right now, I think AJ DeBanza is probably the move. I also really like Cam Boozer. But right now, I honestly feel like he'll go 1, or him or Peterson. So if the Hawks land 2 or 3 with that Pelicans pick, right now, as of September 2025, a very long time until the 2026 NBA draft, AJ DeBanza is my guy. So finally, let's turn back to Eurobasket and focus on Zachary Ricochet, the Hawks' 2024 first overall pick, who had a great rookie season and is looking for an even better second season with the Atlanta Hawks. France closes out group play today, actually, against Iceland. And the game is going on right now as you see this video. It honestly might even be over by the time this video is uploaded. Iceland is entering this matchup 0-4. France has the advantage in every single way, and on paper, this is an opportunity for them to build some good momentum heading into the knockout stages. As you all know, since I covered in last episode, Ricochet had a very quiet showing in France's last game. It was certainly his worst game of Eurobasket. He only played 15 minutes. He remained scoreless. He shot 0-4 from the field. It was a very weird game, just in general, scoring no points in limited minutes. But today presents a chance for him to bounce back against a weaker opponent and further showcase his ability to create on the ball. I think and against an inferior opponent like this, I think this is a great opportunity for the coach to kind of give Zachary Ricochet some more offensive freedom and see him, drive and attack the basket and create a look for himself. Something that Hawks fans are, very eager to see him develop further, because I think this is the thing that's really holding Ricochet's game back. If he can add a little bit of a one-on-one scoring bag, we're looking at a guy who could be a 20-point-per-game scorer in his prime. The biggest storyline to watch is France's head coach and how he manages Ricochet minutes. His playing time has really fluctuated throughout the tournament, and consistency here could help the young forward build some great confidence heading into the 2025-26 NBA season. We've seen what he can do in stretches, especially for France. I mean, they should have seen it very well. I mean, he's probably been the most impactful player, other than obviously like Gershon Yabusele, contributing to their wins. But I mean, only getting 15 minutes last game, I mean, clearly it worked out in their favor because they ended up winning by a good bit. But nonetheless, I mean, this is a guy who, at his age, needs to be playing as many minutes as we can get him in order to grow his game and build his confidence. So if France secures the expected win, they're going to finish group play at 4-1 and enter the round of 16 as one of the stronger contenders. Either France or both of France or Latvia, they're both very much contenders for this Eurobasket title. So maybe one of them can win it, and that would be super awesome. But this round of 16 starts very soon. We're going to be covering it all here. This is the last group stage game for anyone, so that will be starting. That tournament will be started very soon. So to recap, the Hawks have added Javen Johnson and Dwight Murray Jr. to the mix ahead of training camp. Kristaps Porzingis and Latvia continue to roll at Eurobasket, while Vít Krejci and the Czech Republic certainly did not see this tournament go their way. Early draft projections show Atlanta with 2 prime first-round picks in 2026. And, of course, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on Zachary Rizachet as France looks to finish group play strong this morning. So that'll do it for today's episode of Hawks Latest. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single update here on the channel. We're going to be pumping out videos every single day, keeping you guys informed on the latest and the greatest regarding the Atlanta Hawks. But once again, I'm Zach Langley, a.k.a. Langley ATL. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.